Hey guys, this is Jason with Jason's Works. I wanted to do a video showing the starter kit that I have available. These tools are designed to have a person get started making coin rings. I've been asked a lot lately about what tools people need to get started. So with these tools here, you'll be able to punch a hole, fold the coin, and stretch it using the Durston stretcher, and then also reduce it to the size and shape that you like. So with that, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and make a ring, and I'll talk to you about it as I go through, and I'll be using the tools in the starter kit. Alright? Okay, first step is to anneal the coin. Now for this, you'll want to wear your safety glasses, of course, and I like to wear a nice leather apron. That'll be basically softening or annealing the coin. This is a 1943 Walking Silver Liberty, and because it's minted, it's been work hardened, so we want to soften that silver up. And the idea is to get it to the correct temperature, and then we'll quench it in water. You don't want to get it too hot though, or it'll reticulate, or it'll deform on the surface of the coin. So what I like to do is look for a nice orange flame coming off, and it's best to do this in a dark room so that you can see a dull red glow of the coin. Once you get comfortable doing that, then and you can notice when that orange flame comes off, then you can do it in a lighted room. But I would highly recommend doing it in a darkened room until you get comfortable doing it. And using a propane oxygen torch, we'll just go ahead and heat the coin to a dull red in a dark room, or a nice orange flame coming off the coin. We're just now getting the orange flame. Okay. Now we'll quench in water. And there is an annealed silver $1/2. So now the next step is we'll go ahead and punch a hole dead center of the coin. So here's the first of the 4 primary steps, and that's punching a hole. And it's important to get the hole centered in the coin. Now coins they're not perfectly round, they're off by a few thousandths of an inch. But the more centered you can get it, then the better it will be for folding and also for reducing. Now the spacers are in the starter kit are designed for U.S. quarters, U.S. $1/2, and U.S. Morgan dollar. And I'll use a 1/2 inch hole for this $1/2. And one trick that actually Joshua Janes taught me is to use a paper towel, and if you fold it here over the ring, this is not something you have to do, but it just helps to protect the coin and also makes a very secure fit of the coin in the spacer and in the punch housing. So we'll place the die, 1/2 inch die, into the base of the punch here. Make sure that the shiny side is up. You want the cutting edge to be sharp. On the other side, you'll see the size marked on the die, and but there'll be a slight concave shape. You want that flat side up. Place it in there, and we'll go ahead and put just a piece of paper towel on top of the coin to help protect that detail. You can also put some tape on the base of the top of the punch housing. That will also protect the detail of the coin. And we'll go ahead and punch the hole. I like to also place burr life on the cutting edge of the punch. That will allow it to stay sharper for a longer period. I like to just punch it a few hard strokes and then lighter strokes afterward, because you just need the punch just to go through. You don't have to drive it all the way home. You can see there it's perfectly protected. You have the paper towel here, that'll protect that. Now we'll use a dead blow hammer, and we can just gently tap the punch out off the coin. I like to grab the base of the punch here and just lightly tap that out, and there we go. Perfectly centered hole in the $half. So there's step number 1. Now step number 2, we'll take a deburring tool and take that sharp edge off of the coin, off the hole on the inside of the coin there. I like to keep the shavings because it is silver. And after you make a lot of these coin rings, you'll have quite a bit of shavings, and also the plug that is inside of the die. Now those will be punched out as you continue to punch coins. Those plugs will be driven through the base of the punch here. So there we go. Now we're ready for step number 2, and that's folding. So the coin is annealed, hole punched in the center of the coin, deburred, beveled the hole, and now we'll go ahead and start to fold the coin. Okay, so included with the starter kit is the 1.3 by 1.4 inch die at 17 degrees, and I like to use this to start the fold for a $half on the 1.3 side. And we'll go ahead and place that in there and use the steel starter cone to begin the folding process. Now this does the first initial fold so that the steel cone will take up the brunt force of the fold, and will prepare the coin for the plastic cones, which will not harm the detail of your coin. So now we'll go to the 1.2 die, and recognize that as the coin is being folded, it is work hardening. So it will need to be annealed here shortly. But and the idea with the cones is that if it fits, it'll work. And you might hear me say that quite a bit. But that's the idea with these tools, is that if it fits, it'll work. So if the cone is a little bit too tall to fit under here, then you can use a larger die or a smaller cone. That way you can basically make any ring, any coin that's available into a ring. So I can feel it getting work hardened, so I'm going to go ahead and anneal this again, and then we'll continue folding. Okay, so fresh anneal on the coin, so it's nice and soft again. We'll see if it goes into the next size down of the die. It does not, so we'll keep it in the 1.2. And maybe I'll try one larger size cone. Looks like that'll work just fine. Go ahead and continue folding. Now the idea is to get the coin up against the cone there, so that way it's folded completely at the 17 degrees. And you can see here we bottomed out, hit the top of the die, but we still need to go a little bit further. So you can either go to a larger cone or just add a spacer and finish the fold. And there we go, nice and snug. It's touching, so we are good to go. And so there's step number 2, a folded coin. Now we'll go to step number 3 and stretch it out. Now for this step, I like to use a simple paper towel to help protect the detail of the coin. There's a gentleman, Jason Samples, that came up with this idea, and it's just brilliant. I tried different techniques, and this seems to be the way to go. Nice and cheap and works very well. So I like to, for $half, I like to fold it over once for 2-ply, and then basically place it on the top here and press down. That way you get paper on the inside of the ring, and that'll protect it. So very simple, easy to use. Oh, And we also want to see what size we have. And I like to use the narrowest part of the ring always for sizing. So right now it's the cut side, and it's looking like it's about 7 1/4. So let's go for a size, let's say size 10 for our target size. So what we want to do now is stretch the ring past our target size for $1/2, about 2 to 3 times, depending on the final shape that you like. We'll go for a little bit straighter of a wall coin ring. So we'll go to about overstretch to a size 12 for a target size of 10. So I got a little ways to go, and I haven't annealed it yet. So I'm very conscious of the how hard the silver is, and do not want to go past the breaking point. And just takes some time to get the feel. Like I feel it hardening right now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. And I'll go ahead and anneal again. That's a size 10 there, so I still want to go 2 more sizes, but I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to go ahead and anneal. Okay, so finished annealing. I'm just cutting that out just to save some time for the video, but I got a fresh anneal on there, so we're nice and soft again. Press this down one more time. We're going for about 2 more sizes, larger. Again, just takes a little bit of practice to kind of get the feel for it. And there's a size, that's about a size 12 right there. I get a little bit touch more. Oh, and I like to have the reed side up when doing this, because we're trying to get the cut side of the coin opened up and caught up with the reed side. And then when we reduce, we'll put the reed side, reduce the reed side down, and then final shape on the cut side of the ring. Okay, we'll call that good. So now I've work hardened it again, so I'll anneal one more time, and then we'll start to reduce and shoot for our target size. Okay, here we go. The ring is folded, stretched, and now annealed. So now we're going to go to our final step and reduce it to the shape and size that we want. Now you'll see it's a little bit wobbly, a couple low spots, a couple high spots. That's to be expected, mainly because coins are thick and thin in different locations, so they'll bend faster, bend slower as they're folded and stretched. Now with the reduction dies, I found that this actually helps to straighten the ring out, because it'll press down first on the part that is in contact, and then it'll conform to a even look. Now if you still have issues though, you can, what I like to do is put it back on the stretcher and stretch it back out and then reduce it down again. Kind of like kneading dough to work out air pockets. You're kind of kneading the ring back and forth, stretching and reducing to work out any defects in the shape of the ring. So let's get started. So again, if it fits, it works. So we're just looking for a die that will fit the ring and allow the ring to be pressed down. So this is a 1.1 17 degree. We'll go ahead and begin reducing. I like to tap the ring to make sure it's nice and level in the die, and do short strokes. And you can take it out and look at it, and just I also like to do several short strokes to make sure everything is looking good, and it is looking good. That little unevenness is working itself out. And I'm also looking for where the ring is making contact with the die. I don't want to go up too far and take out any detail. So the 17 degree die is nice because it allows, especially for the larger coins and harder coins, it allows less force to be needed to reduce the ring. So I'm going to check the size here. We're at 10.5, so we're getting close already. I'm going to flip it around, do a little press on the cut side. Not going to take too much. it's looking good. Now we still have a little bit of deformity here. Now this is going to basically rely on you and how critical you want to be. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this back out and then reduce again just to get it just right. Take it down a little bit further. I feel it work hardening, so I'm going to go ahead and kneel and reduce a little bit more and just see if I can work that piece out right there. Okay, a little more. I like to put my finger right next to the ram, not under it obviously, but next to it, so I can feel how far it's pressing. I'm not relying on my visual, on sight, but rather feel. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out back to the size 12. So we'll fold this. So I'll stretch it out to the size 12, and then we'll start reducing again. So we're stretching, reducing to help make this perfectly symmetrical. Okay, so now we're back to a size 12. So we've stretched it back out, and I've also annealed it now, so it's nice and soft, size 12. And now I'm measuring the reed side because we've caught the cut side up to the reed side, and now the reed side is going to be the narrowest part of the ring because it's thicker on the reed and thinner on the cut side. And a lot of questions always arise like, well, I'm trying to get the sides the same on both sides, and you just can't because without it being not looking symmetrical. The reed side will always be narrower and the cut side larger when the ring is symmetric in shape. And I actually like to wear the reed side on the back of the finger inside that groove. Actually fits very, very comfortably. So, okay, we're size 12, target size 10. We'll start reducing again. So I'm going to take it out and look at it, make sure everything is going like it should, which it is. Your size about 10 3/4. Flip it over now. I'm getting close to the size 10 and 10 1/4. Now I still have a little bit of material to take off on the inside. I'm going to use the deburring tool for that, just so it fits more comfortably on a finger. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the cut side a little bit. That's looking really good. 10 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and deburr. And the cut side as well while I'm here. Always trying to save the shavings. And just to soften up from the deburring, I like to take a file, or you can use a flex shaft, which works really well. There's also some other tools available, but I kind of like the idea of being able to make coin rings without the need of electricity. That way you can make these at farmer's market or craft fair and not require any electrical equipment. So, and again, this is basically up to the maker on how they want their finished ring to look. And I'll also while I'm here, take that sharp edge off the outside of the cut part of the ring. The die will actually help soften that up, especially on the reed side, but I just like to touch that up a little bit. It's looking really nice. We'll go a little further. I'm going to feel for that work hardness again. Feels pretty soft, so we got a bit more room to go. Looking nice. About 10 1/4. Go ahead and use some blocks here, sanding and buffing blocks, to polish that out a little bit more. Good. That's good. I do feel it hardening now. It is kind of nice to leave the work hardness in the ring as you finish. That's size 10 right there. So we are done. It turned out really nice. I do like to leave a little bit of the work hardness in the ring. That way it won't wear as quickly for a person wearing it. You can see no detail was damaged. So we have 100% detail on the ring, and now it's just final finish. So I will take some acetone and wipe this down, and then we'll go ahead and do a patina in Black Max and do a final polish on it. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of acetone and just place some on a little bit on a paper towel, and we'll just clean that ring up real nice. So the acetone is nice because it takes off any grease, oil from your fingers, and will not leave a residue. So I like to use that. It is extremely flammable though, so make sure and cap it when you're done and put it safely out of the way of any open flame. So we now have a ring that we are ready to patina and do final polish on. Okay, so here's the Black Max. This is, I found, to be the best in getting a nice dark patina on the ring, so you have a contrast of light and dark. It really pops the detail. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to, you can do a high polish. And it will wear off over time, so you have to let the customer know that the patina will only last for so long. And rings wear down. The metal will wear off over time. Just depends on how active the person is that's wearing it. Now this is a very strong acid, so it's good to wear protective clothing, again, eye protection, and I should probably put some gloves on just in case. And make sure that when you're done using it, you put it back into the bottle and store it away from your tools, because the acid can be very oxidizing. Okay, we're ready. So let's go ahead and put her in there. I'll have to just let it sit for a while. And then we'll rinse it in clean water. There we go. It's like a pretty good patina. And what I've found, what I like to do is take the buffing blocks here for nails. Now this one here is very, very fine grit, and then this one's actually no grit, it's a polishing. I like to just polish it out first. That seems to help set it in. Move that out of the way. And then come in with the slightly coarser side and just very lightly hit the high points of the ring. And you can use the corners to get into the smaller detail if you just want to hit one portion of the ring. Make sure the sun's nice and bright, the rays. Let's see, There's your hand, the flag, the stars. There's your face, the branch, and then get the letters of liberty, and then in God we trust, right there. And if you want to, if it's not quite as dark as you like, you can take it and put it back into the Black Max and do like a second coating of it. But I kind of like this. It looks nice. And then for the inside, I'll take some 4/0 or 5/0 steel wool and very lightly just take the patina off the high points on the inside of the ring, and then I'll actually take one of these and tear off either side of this and use that on the inside. And again, there's lots of different ways to do this. This is just one of the steps that one of the processes that I found that I like, and I changed it up too. I'll try something different. If it works, then I'll maybe adopt that for a while. If it doesn't, then I'll move on to something else. But I'm constantly trying to, make better and better rings. So, but I think the starter kit is a really good kit to start out with. You'll be able to do the U.S. quarters, half dollars, and Morgan dollars, and then there's other spacers available for other coins. You can even get custom ones made if it's a really oddball coin. And then also larger punches and smaller punches for the self-centering punch kit that you can get 5/8, 3/4, all the way down to a 1/4 inch. And then also the 25-degree dies, which I like to use for more of a, if I want to get more of a rounded shape on the ring, like a fat tire look, then I'll use that. So now I'm using the gray side of the buffing block, and now the white side for the final buff. And again, this is personal preference. So at this point, I'll just grab a polishing cloth with no abrasive on it, but just do a final polish. And I like to use Renaissance wax at the very end, which I don't seem to have at the moment, but it's available at RioGrande.com. It's great stuff. A little pricey, but it puts a really nice luster on the finished product. So, but this block here is really nice as well. So that's the size 10, 1943 silver Walking Liberty coin ring. But you can see there, I think it turned out very nice.